Hello everyone. Today I will share a very cool tip. Sharpening scissors with old batteries. A simple way to make use of discarded items, and surprisingly effective. First, I had a pair of fabric scissors, but when I used them, the blades were no longer sharp, and the fabric was also scratched and cut unevenly. Instead of throwing them away or taking them to a sharpening shop, today I will restore the sharpness of the scissors right at home, with just an old battery, toothpaste, and a few familiar items. I took out an old battery, then used my hands or pliers to gently remove the plastic cover to expose the metal part. This metal part will be used as a sharpening tool. Where are you from? Comment to let us know. It's great that we can make friends from all over the world. Next, I prepared a tube of toothpaste and an old toothbrush. I squeezed a small amount of toothpaste onto the toothbrush. Then gently brushed it evenly on both sides of the scissor blades. Toothpaste contains mild abrasives and mint, which help clean and brighten the metal surface, while also creating the necessary roughness when sharpening. Once both sides of the scissor blades were evenly coated with toothpaste, I held the battery, tilted it about 20 degrees to the surface of the scissor blades, and started sharpening in a steady motion from the inside out. I sharpened each side of the blade, making sure both sides were in contact with the battery. Be careful to keep the sharpening angle steady, and don't shake your hand too hard to avoid scratching the blade. After a while, I saw that the toothpaste started to dry and wash off, so I used a brush to apply a thin layer of new toothpaste to the scissors, then continued sharpening a second time, this time focusing more on the edge of the blade, the part that determines the sharpness of the scissors. Finally, I moved on to sharpening with the middle part of the battery, which is often rougher due to less contact. I placed that part on the edge of the scissors and gently sharpened it again to create an even sharpness from the top to the bottom of the blade. When I felt that the blade was smoother and brighter, I used a slightly damp piece of paper to wipe the entire surface of the scissors, removing any remaining toothpaste and metal dust created by the sharpening process. So, the step of sharpening the scissors with the old battery and toothpaste was completed. The blade is now sharper, ready for the next step: brightening and rust prevention with baking soda and Coca-Cola. I placed the scissors in an aluminum tray. I took an aluminum tray that was just big enough to fit the blade inside. I sprinkled 1 to 2 tablespoons of baking soda directly onto the surface of the scissors. Baking soda is mildly alkaline and works well to clean stubborn stains, rust, and brighten metal surfaces. Next, I slowly poured Coca-Cola into the tray until the blades were completely submerged in water. I let the scissors soak in the solution for about 10 to 15 minutes to soften the stains, rust, and metal dust. As soon as they came into contact with the baking soda, you'll see bubbles appear. This is a natural reaction between the phosphoric acid in the coca and the baking soda, which helps soften and separate old rust stains. Then, use a toothbrush to scrub both sides of the scissors, focusing on areas that are prone to rust, such as joints, blade edges, and dents. If you want to increase the cleaning effect, you can add a little baking soda directly to the brush, then continue scrubbing. This time, it has both a mechanical effect, friction, and a chemical effect, rust removal. When the scissors blade is clean and brighter, I take it out, rinse it with clean water, then use a dry towel or paper towel to dry the entire scissors. Do not leave the scissors damp because the steam can cause the blade to oxidize again after a few days. After soaking and brushing with baking soda plus Coca-Cola, the scissors will be shiny, rust-free, and look almost new. The remaining stains, metal stains, or grinding dust are completely cleaned. The scissors blade is not only sharp, but also more aesthetically pleasing and safer to use. After this step, you have a pair of scissors that are almost revived, both sharp and clean. And now it's time to test the results by cutting the plastic bag and fabric again to see how noticeable the difference is. After 2 steps of sharpening and brightening the scissors with extremely simple materials such as old batteries, toothpaste, baking soda, and Coca-Cola, now it's time to check whether the scissors are really sharp again. I started with a plastic bag, a light, slippery material, but if the scissors are dull, they will tear instead of break, and sometimes even wrinkle the bag. With just one light stroke, the bag was cut cleanly and without any cuts. The feeling of holding the scissors is also much more comfortable because the sharp blade has been restored. Next is a thin piece of cotton fabric. This type is often difficult to cut when the scissors are dull because the fabric fibers are easily stretched instead of broken. This time, with just one simple operation, the scissors blades went straight, without much effort, but still created a smooth, even cut, without leaving any excess fibers or tearing the fabric edges. Compared to before sharpening, the effect is really different. From a pair of scissors that seemed to be just for throwing away, now it can cut both fabric and nylon as smoothly as a newly sharpened knife. And it is worth mentioning that the entire process of restoring scissors takes less than 15 minutes, without the need for specialized machines or sharpening tools. With just a little creativity and using available items in the house, you can completely turn a pair of dull scissors into sharp scissors like new, without spending a penny. So, with just a few simple ingredients such as old batteries, toothpaste, baking soda, and a can of Coca-Cola, I successfully revived an old pair of scissors that I thought were no longer usable. After sharpening, the scissors are not only sharp again, but also shiny, rust-free, and can be used to cut fabric, nylon, or many other materials very smoothly. This is truly a tip that is both economical and effective, and also makes use of discarded items in the house. If you also have a pair of dull scissors, don't rush to throw them away. Try this method right away. And if you find this tip useful, don't forget to like, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next great tips. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.